Welcome to Wine Chats with Bildo and Lindalin. My name is Billy Milovanovic, aka Bildo.
And my name is Lindsay Kirkwood, also known as Lindalin.
And this is an offensively funny podcast about drinking wine and chatting life. Hope you enjoy.
Okay, I'm going to just warn you guys now. Billy is in charge of this episode, as in
I'm just as scared as you are.
We're all scared. You came up with the topic. You wanted to chat about this, and I said, you enlighten me.
Yes.
You fill me in on what you want to fill me in on. Because...
So we're talking about... Well, I think it's...
Just briefly, if you can.
Look, it's about P.Diddy and J-Lo.
Perfect. Done.
But like generally like the downfall of Hollywood. Like what is happening?
Oh, we're taking it there. Okay.
Well, listen, let's just see where we take it, okay? Because again, when I run the topics, I have to be organized and I have all this research, but like what's in my head and how I communicate it are two very different things. So I'm just going to see if Lindsay can steer me in some sort of direction because I do feel very passionately about this topic.
Oh my God.
And I just hope I can get it.
Steer you first by telling you to shut up so I can...
That's a really good start.
Talk about the wine, pour the wine, and you may then continue to ramble.
Yes, great.
So we have had so many lovely wine sponsors that this little bad boy has been in the back of our wine fridge for ages. What a pleasant little surprise. You went to this winery like...
I was actually just going to say, you're right. At least like two years ago now.
Ages.
Yeah.
So Allegiance Wines. So we have the artisan... I can never say the word artisan.
Artisan.
Artisan. That one.
Artisan? What do we have that's artisan, Lindsay? Show it to us.
Stop, I'm getting hot. It's a Barossa Valley Shiraz 2020.
Yay.
Yum.
Yum.
We love Shirazes.
Do we? Yes, we do.
What do you mean?
I don't know, man. Red wine's red wine. Although Shirazes do typically, the thing I do know about Shirazes, it's not a lot. I don't know a lot. But I do know that they are stronger than the others.
Oh, wow.
Bigger muscles.
Define the others.
Well, like a Pinot Noir. You know, Pinot Noir tends to be like it's like so gentle, it's almost see-through red, you know, whereas like a Shiraz, you can't see through it.
Stop talking. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot this episode. Stop talking.
Oh, my God. It's okay. It's closed. Lindsay almost dropped the wine bottle on her white couch. Cheers.
Oh, Lord.
Cheers and good luck, everyone.
I was just going to say cheers and brace yourselves.
Brace yourselves.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, went up the nostrils. Nice.
I feel like the smell is so different to the taste.
I agree.
Like the smell smells like it'll be something super sweet and like fruity, and then you taste it and it's like actually quite dainty. Like it's not a Shiraz. Like to me, a Shiraz like punches me in the face and takes my breath out.
Yeah, I agree in the sense of it smells different than it tastes. Like I get a lot of like chocolatey when I smell it, but then I don't taste sweetness.
I don't know. All I know is I now have wine on my lip, on my top lip.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm getting hot. Start with your episode.
Oh, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so.
Oh, Lord.
Look, these two people have been I've been TikToking a lot lately. It's a real sin. I enjoy it so much. Yeah. And what's been coming up quite a lot and what's been happening recently is the whole P.Diddy thing.
Yes.
That's been in the news. Now, have you heard anything about this?
Yes, I have, but I haven't read the full articles or done a deep dive. I just know the skimming of it. So I need clarification because you know me, I need facts.
Lindsay needs details. Look, I screenshotted a whole bunch of articles. Don't know if any of that's going to come out because you know how I like to read things and organize things. But the long story short, they're essentially accusing him of being like the Henry Weinstein of music.
So, but I need to know, like, has anything actually been proven? Because the last I saw was even his son apparently is like mixed in on all of this.
All really good questions, Lindsay, that I do not know if I can answer. Now, at the moment, he has not been charged with anything.
Yep.
What's been happening is it seems to have all started in November last year.
Okay, so it's new.
So it's relatively new. I don't think before November anybody really knew the level of it. Obviously, lots of people have been coming out. Like there's a really well-renowned comedian, Cat Williams. He's been talking about. He did a really famous interview in January this year. You're not really on. No, Lindsay doesn't do pop culture. That's the only thing I do. I don't do the news, but I do pop culture. He came out and did this massive interview where he essentially like accused everyone of everything, and P. Diddy was like a huge one for having these parties and sex trafficking. And
now pause. Is it sex trafficking with children or like
good
adult
question?
Because yes,
Because I'm going to come back to November now.
Okay,
Last year, one of P. Diddy's ex-girlfriends essentially filed a lawsuit saying that he sex trafficked her, that he made her do lots of stuff, rape, all that sort of stuff. I don't know, are we allowed to say rape?
Yes,
her, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a podcast. We could do what we want.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. Anyway, so I literally just Googled like, what is sex trafficking? Because I thought the same thing. I'm like, is he like sending kids around places? Like, what's happening? But sex trafficking occurs when someone uses force, fraud, or coercion to cause a commercial sex act with an adult or causes a minor to commit a commercial sex act. So it can be for adults as well.
Yeah.
Essentially what she's saying, this is a lawsuit. I'm not sure who exactly put this, because from November when she put her lawsuit in, I think like literally a few days later she withdrew it because he ended up paying her off. He at the time said, no, I'm not like admitting to anything. I'm basically just trying to make this go away. She was a partner of mine. Like, I just want this all to die down. But then a bunch of other women came out and sued him as well.
Is that how it all started?
That's how it all started.
Okay, right.
Yes. Yep. Now this lawsuit, one of them, Daphne Joy. Former girlfriend and the mother of one of his children, Daphne Joy, is one of the alleged sex workers. The lawsuit alleges that Combs regularly hosted sex trafficking parties with underage women and illegal drugs, and implies record label executives who looked the other way financially benefited from access to celebrities and dignitaries, including the British royal Prince Harry. Now, Harry hasn't been accused of anything, but he might have been at these parties.
Like his uncle? Shut the fuck up. This is way too crazy.
And we all know about the P. Diddy's white parties, right? You remember these white parties that went on
the white parties?
The white parties, yeah, like where everybody would dress in white and literally everyone who's anyone in Hollywood would go to these white parties.
No, I had no idea.
No?
Was this like back in the 90s or was this like a recent thing?
Good question. I don't think it's been recently. I think everybody's kind of cottoned on to P. Diddy a little bit. But yeah, like back in the day, he used to have these, throw these lavish parties. Everybody would go to these parties. So it was like a huge thing.
Right.
So now he's getting sued for doing all this sexual stuff. Now,
Jesus, so underage.
Oh, yes. And that's what I think one of the things. Now, this is where I have to just be a little bit careful, because being on TikTok and finding out information on TikTok is not the same thing as actual facts, people. I don't know if you're aware of this.
True.
But what happens on the internet is not always real.
Wise.
But the things that like did come out on TikTok were like Usher was like a kid when P. Diddy discovered him, and they're saying that he did all sorts of stuff to him and that he was involved, and that like Justin Bieber, like all these young people who came into the industry really young, who he had kind of mentored, have maybe not been involved, but were like groomed, were all these sorts of things. There was this one kid who was like, I adopted a white child, and so he's adopted all these kids and he had all these kids that he was looking after. Now that doesn't necessarily mean he did anything wrong to them.
Wait, who adopted all these kids?
Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
He's adopted kids?
He adopted this one white girl, and then he went on live Instagram or something and was like, I adopted this white girl, oh my God. And she's like all happy, and she lives with him. Like she's one of, And so in March, I don't know why exactly. It's probably somewhere in my really extensive note. Look here. In November, he was also sued by a lady, Joey Dickinson, alleged he drugged and sexually assaulted her when she was a student back in 91. Also, a lot of the things that he's being sued for happened in the 90s.
That's why I asked about the white parties. So not only is he like facilitating these transactions, whatever, he's also partaking himself.
Yes.
So he's going to go down like the other dude.
So another of the rappers accuses is a woman. She claims he gang raped her 2 decades ago after she was plied with drugs and alcohol at the age of 17.
And you know what? If this was like before the Harvey Weinstein thing, people would be like, yeah, right. But because this has actually happened in the past, like people are like, dude, you're fucking going down. 100%. You are done.
And so this is what he said. This is the Cassie, the girlfriend who sued him in November. That's what kind of kickstarted everything. Yeah. So alleged she was trafficked, raped, plied with drugs and beaten by Combs over a 10-year period.
Oh my God.
Lawsuit claims he forced her to have sex with male prostitutes while he filmed them. The case was settled the day after it was filed. So he got rid of it. Now, this is the other thing. Like, this is what I mean. It's like kind of about, like, this episode is kind of about, like, Puff Daddy and, like, J-Lo. J-Lo is, we'll do that in the next half.
After the break.
We'll do that after the break.
Yeah. Too much information.
Because that's totally different. Like, she's not, has not been sex trafficking as far as we know. But like the downfall of Hollywood, like with the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, like it's funny now, even watching shows back from the 90s to see the stuff that we just accepted. Like how easily.
But we didn't know that was happening back then.
No, but we kind of saw that things were a bit weird, that all these young people would like this, the way we used to talk about women, just in general now. Obviously we weren't seeing like people being abused and stuff. But like it was a different time, wasn't it? Like,
it was a different time, but I don't think anybody saw it back then unless if you're actually involved in it because
and I think
we
it's
were
because
so naive to it.
We were so naive and this was Hollywood. These were big, huge people. You trust in these people, right?
Yeah.
And so I just had this one little thing that I saw. So the entertainment industry has been beset with a steady stream of career-ending sexual misconduct allegations in the years since stories about movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein.
I said Harvey. Yeah.
Spawned the Me Too movement. So that was in 2017. Can you believe it was 17? Yeah. So the 70s show star Danny Masterson. Did you ever watch the 70s show?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah. Well, you know, he got done for rape as well. Yeah. So he's obviously serving a prison sentence.
Yep.
The music industry has not faced the same reckoning to that degree, but singer and producer R. Kelly, obviously, serving a prison sentence for sexually abusing young fans.
Yep.
7 women have sued hip-hop mogul Russell Simmons, alleging he raped them, and 2 women have sued Aerosmith singer Steven Tyler, alleging sexual assault. So
I don't know who those 2 people are, the last 2 people.
Russell Simmons, hip-hop mogul. I think he produced and more music than he actually, I don't think, but then Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. No?
Oh, right. So you were speaking so fast. It was like you were speaking Croatian. What is it?
Sorry,
What's your
when
tongue
I speak.
again?
That's so rude.
I know it is.
Anyway, so it's like we just don't trust. I can't. What do I do with all of Puff Daddy's music now? Like, what do I do with all of it?
Hey,
how do you feel now? You know?
Yeah. What was that group that they did something? They did something. Yeah, factual. They did something bad back in the day, and there was like all this footage of people. The guys and they drove over all. Drove over all their cassette tapes. Was that him?
Yes.
Yeah. So
all they did was lip syncing.
I know.
And look at these Kelly's peeing on girls. Like seriously, but like the serious question is like, there's all this music and art created by these people now, and you don't even like what?
You just don't listen to it.
I know, but it's so sad because so much of it was like is our childhoods, right? And so now the walls are starting to fall, and I feel so sad.
It is, and look, this is just deep again, but like, is it this?
Don't cry.
Too much. No, no.
Don't cry.
No, oh my God. But now that you say that, no, but like the world is so fucking shifted, unbalanced with men towards women. And this is a whole different episode. But like, you know, in my head lately, like, you know, men are getting paid more than women. All these fucking men are killing these women, you know, the ex-boyfriends.
And look at what they're doing to us, seriously.
Like, literally, like it's actually so angry.
Yeah.
My grammar in English has gone out the window because I'm actually really pissed off by it today anyways. Yeah. In today's world that like this just shows that, is it their arrogance? You know?
Absolutely. Like, and we just let it, this is what I'm saying. Like we're going to go, this is taking a weird turn, but it is. It's like we trusted these people to an extent. And so we just trusted that they were doing the right thing somehow. And because they were creating this music and creating this art, we were just like, oh, whatever.
Well, and he was massive.
It's not weird that Elvis is married to a 14-year-old. He's Elvis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now we're starting to wake up to it a little bit. So it's kind of good that, obviously it's kind of good. Jesus Christ, it's amazing that we're finally starting to see this.
But it's
still
not
shit.
But the thing is, it's not stopping anything. I feel like...
Well, isn't it? Maybe. I hope. To an extent now that you can't... Celebrities aren't what they used to be. So we don't... You can't just go into it and get away with what they used to get away with because now we're so... I feel like it's almost the worst time to be a celebrity because everybody's on your... like at you. You can't really hide anything anymore. Now, before we go to J-Lo, I'm just going to say that they are starting to say that there was some involvement of Beyonce and Jay-Z as well. And I'm devastated. So I don't know what it is yet, but I will be looking and paying close attention because they're saying they're so big and they're so Oprah, they've taken aim at Oprah because they're saying that she was sex trafficking girls.
Who's they? What is happening?
TikTok. You should get on TikTok.
But who's saying what about Beyonce and
people?
Jay-Z?
They're saying that they were involved as well in trafficking.
The P.Diddy thing? Maybe
because they're also close. But look, back in the day, they would have worked together. I'm just saying like all these celebrities are now starting to get like exposed. Right. And so they're wanting to expose now Jay-Z, Beyonce, Oprah.
But are like tying them to the P.Diddy thing or
not necessarily? Maybe their own thing, maybe tied.
God, hit the button.
Anyway, let's talk about J-Lo. That's a lot funnier.
I hope so.
Let us introduce you to Allegiance Wines, a vineyard located in the foothills of the Snowy Mountains in the Tumbarumba wine region.
They produce a range of cool climate wines that has the highest quality from Australia's premium regions.
We also have codes, so if you use the code MIXED12, you will get 20% off your order. Plus, if you include wine chats into your delivery instructions, you will get a free 1.5 litre magnum of their Artisan McLaren Shiraz 2018.
So what are you waiting for? Join with Allegiance Wines and reward yourself with the pledge of quality they've made from vine to glass. Okay, Billy, come enlighten me with this, whatever it is you're going to tell me. So who are we talking about right now? J-Lo? I'm so confused. So many
J-Lo.
people. J-Lo.
Do you have anything to do with, like, do you like J-Lo? Have you ever?
Oh, I mean, I like her. I don't.
Fan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan in the sense of she makes good music and I like seeing and hearing about what she's doing in her life. But I actually haven't seen or heard anything that's happening with her.
Because again, you're not on TikTok and you're not up with pop culture. And
okay, so what's happening?
J-Lo. So back to P.Diddy. P.Diddy and J-Lo dated between 1999 and 2001. So it's just interesting to see 25 years later how they're fared because it's not going great for either of them. J-Lo has recently made a movie. Did you know about this?
I think so.
Yeah. So on Amazon Prime, she had this deal to create this movie. Now, she didn't want to call it a movie. She didn't want to call it a visual album. She didn't want to call it just music. It was all very confusing for all of us exactly what she was trying to create.
Okay, so
she released a movie on Amazon Prime that is essentially a new album that she created in a movie form. And she released an album with it, I believe. I know. It's confusing to everyone. So I don't know if you know, probably not, but like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, a bunch of different singers have done that where they create an album and then they release a visual album with it, if you will.
Yes.
It seems like J-Lo was trying to do something similar to that.
Okay. But she didn't want it to be a visual album.
No, and she wanted it to be a movie, but not like a movie, but
so
again.
Like a docu-series musical thingy?
On top of that, of this visual album that she created, it's called I can't remember, the album was called This Is Me Now, or the movie was called This Is Me Now.
I've seen that on when I'm
And then she released a documentary about making that visual album, movie, whatever, called The Greatest Love Story Never Told.
Okay.
So her thing is, I wanted to create this thing that was like in my soul, that was this creative thing that was just all me, that I really wanted to do. Because I think her first album that she released was like This Is Me Then. That was 20 years ago, probably with P.Diddy.
Nope.
And so now she's like, all the stuff has happened. I want to create like a This Is Me Now.
Okay, cute.
Right? So far, so good.
Yeah.
So in the documentary, she starts making this movie and she had a deal for it. I think she had like a $30 million deal to make this thing.
Ooh.
As she starts making it, they go, this doesn't make sense. We're pulling it. They pull the deal. They don't want to give her the money anymore. Oh. So so she started putting all this stuff in place.
Right.
But they take it away from her essentially.
But what do you mean it doesn't make sense? I'm so confused.
You're confused. So were the people who were giving the money. They were like, I don't understand what this project is. I don't think, like, they were like, people just aren't going to relate to it. Like, this isn't a thing that we want to give $30 million to. Okay. So they withdraw their deal from her.
Ouch.
And she's like, but I want to make this movie. And so now I think she's married to Ben Affleck. They're either together, they're married. Yep.
Oh, I don't know if they got remarried.
Yeah,
I think
let's say they're married.
So.
Sure,
I thought they got remarried.
So he was like, babe, like, I don't know if you want to do this. Literally everybody in her team, except for the yes people who were like, yeah, babe, you should totally do this. Yeah. Everybody was like, don't do this. This isn't a good idea. Okay. She's like, no, I need to do this. It's kind of like when I want to do something and I just like, So I feel you, J-Lo. I feel you. So she goes ahead and puts 20 million of her own into making this passion project. Okay. Essentially.
Right. Now, is this the music thing or the
music thing? So the documentary is being filmed anyway.
Okay.
Right? Watching her make this documentary. And so they watching the documentary, they filmed the thing where they said they're pulling the money, they're not going to do it. And so now she has this meeting with her team and she's like, we're going to make this happen. This is your budget. Make this happen. It's on Amazon Prime. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
So she goes ahead and makes this thing. And she was like one of the first things. So the album is supposed to be like this love story. And she's like, but it's not based on me. But it's based on her. This is what I'm saying. It's so confusing. She's like, no, this is not like an autobiography. It's just like an expression of something like similar that happened, but like, anyway. So then she was like, the first meeting we had with the team about it, like I brought down these letters that Ben had, so he gave her this book of these letters that he had written her. So it was like letters between them, emails between them that he had printed out over the last 20 years.
Oh.
All of their emails, all of their love poems, all of their everything. He put it in this beautiful book and he gifted it to her.
That's cute.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no wonder she went back to you.
No, seriously, lovely.
Yeah, that's so cute.
And then she goes, so I brought this book down and I was like, this is our inspiration for this thing that we're going to make.
Okay.
And then Ben was like, oh my God, like you're showing these to everyone? Like you're just going to give these to your team?
She
like,
didn't run
what?
it by him?
No. He was just like, this is my inspiration. This is what I want to do, right? So he's like, even at one point he says to her, so it's like weird that you're doing this, like the whole, like the love story that's never been told, but you're telling people about it. Like, so I don't understand.
How do you know what's being said?
It's in the documentary.
Okay.
All in the documentary.
Okay.
Go watch it.
Right.
So he's like, but like that doesn't make sense. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Jane Fonda, who was in the movie Monster-in-Law with her, she called her. She was like, why are you doing this? It seems like you should just be living this out. Like don't make this thing that's so open and public. And then there's these scenes where they're calling like Taylor, you know, they've called all these celebrities to be cameos in the movie that she's making. So this visual thing she's making. They're like Taylor Swift said no, Vanessa Hudgens said no, like all these people said no. Derek's has someone who's a dancer and she was like, well, call Derek. And he's like, well, he's at a wedding. It was his wedding. She's like, well, I need him for 2 or 3 days. Like just call him. And like all these people were saying no. Anyway, so she finally makes this thing. Okay. She makes this thing. Obviously it's out because the documentary's out. The movie's out. I tried watching the movie. Look,
what do you watch first? I'm so confused.
I say watch the visual album first and then watch the making of it, right?
And the visual album is what everyone was saying don't make?
Yes.
Okay. So what? Okay. Yes. Gotcha.
So the visual album basically goes through the story, but it's all just so over the top.
So weird.
So over the top. So much CGI. So much, just
what's CGI?
Like a green screen.
Oh,
right. So like so much.
Okay.
It's just this weird compilation of songs that have been put together in a movie format. So she's like going to therapy and then she falls asleep, has a dream, and then it turns into a music video. Like it's just, it's weird. Like none of it makes sense. And this is exactly, again, in the documentary, she was like, I don't want it to be a movie. It's not a movie, but it's not a music video. It's not a this. Nobody really understood what this vision was, but she was like gung-ho. Like she wants to make this thing.
And Amazon's like, thank God we didn't end up giving her the money.
Well, and then so she's released this movie. I don't know how, I feel like it bombed a little bit. She releases the documentary. Everybody just rips her to shreds. Like
in the docu.
Not in the doco, because that's all released by her, right? So obviously it's all like good.
Okay. Yeah.
But like TikTok has gone
to
town. To town. She is now being called Delulu. Like
delusional?
Yes, like J Lulu. And everybody's like, nobody loves J-Lo as much as J-Lo loves J-Lo. And then they were just giving her so much shit. Lindsay, she had this one scene where she was like in the gym and she was like ruffling her hair up.
Yeah.
And being like, just like that. Lindsay, very good. Just like that. And she was like, it just reminds me of when I was back in the Bronx with this crazy hair running up and down the block, doing the thing. So, and then the like, everybody from the block has come on and been like, what are you talking about? You went to Catholic school. I went to school with you. Like you were not running up and down blocks. You went to a private school in the Bronx. Like what are you on about? So people have just started to call her out so hard. And then there was this like interview from 2022 where they were like, hey, what's when you go to the Bronx, because they're making fun of her because she always talks about how she's Jenny from the block and she's from the Bronx.
Yeah.
And they're like, when you go to a convenience store in the Bronx, like what do you order? And she was like, oh, I order like a ham cheese roll with an orange drink. If you know, you know. And people are just like, that's like going to McDonald's and being like, I order a Big Mac and a Coke. If you know, you know. So but you know how brutal the internet is? Lindsay, they have been pulling her to shreds.
How many hours have you wasted?
Oh my God, so many. So.
Okay. Oh, so
it keeps going.
Oh, Jesus.
She then obviously, because she's got all these movies and she's doing, she wants to do a tour. Right?
Of what?
Of the new music she's released.
Oh, okay. That's in the visual album thingy. Okay.
So she wants to do it. I'm just going to have a little, let that sink in.
So she's actually created new music.
She's created new music.
Okay. Visual album. Okay. Right.
Oh, and also Ashanti has come out and been like, that's me singing in a lot of those songs back in the day.
Oh.
Those were like basically they're saying she doesn't really know how to sing.
Oh.
That a lot of the hooks and the things that were in the songs were actually all like other singers. So she's like, and she's never been a great vocalist.
But and
Sweet
is
old
she
J-Lo.
crediting them though?
I don't think so, because all the producers who have created the music, right, they would have just been like, J-Lo's the star, so like let's just.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much was credited to who, but essentially they're saying like the big parts in the songs, like that's like Ashanti. It's not J-Lo. Anyway, that's just a little side note, which
This
makes
episode
it
almost over.
Oh my god,
my
seriously.
brain is hurting.
So she wanted to do a tour.
Yes, with her new music.
The tour was This Is Me Now.
Yes.
Okay, you know, the visual album tour or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Okay. She couldn't sell tickets. She could not sell tickets.
So nobody
would buy tickets. She had to start. Then she started canceling dates.
Ooh,
She cancelled a bunch of dates because it was supposed to be a North American tour. She cancelled a heap of dates. And eventually, after probably like a month or so, she ended up rebranding the whole tour. So instead of being like the This Is Me Now tour, it ended up being the This Is Me Live, like J-Lo's greatest hits. Because she just couldn't, like, nobody
And so
wanted
she's
to go.
selling tickets to that?
She's currently selling tickets to that. The tour hasn't started.
Question. I don't even really remember. Like, did she ever do tours? Like, I don't really remember her being an artist, like a artist
Touring
that went
artist.
around.
Honestly,
Yeah.
very good question.
You know
I don't
what I mean?
ever remember hearing her come to Australia.
Yeah.
I know that she did. I'm pretty sure she did a stint in Vegas. Like she did one of those Vegas shows.
Long-standing
Yes.
shows thingies, yeah.
And again, to be fair, J-Lo is fucking fantastic in the sense that she'll dance. She's that triple thread kind of. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. Cool, totally. But just based on TikTok and people's TikTok stories, just apparently not a very nice person, and everybody's like, this is just karma. Like people coming up with so many stories of the times they've like had contact with her. She has this like thing in contracts where she'll say, make sure nobody looks me in the eye, you know, like things like that.
Look, with me not even knowing any of this, maybe it's just because she's stunning and she's gorgeous from head to toe. But she is getting older and she hasn't really been in the limelight for anything really in a long time, right? Except getting back together with Ben, whatever that was.
Yeah, she hasn't released any new kind of, no movies,
so maybe she's just like starting to feel a little bit insecure and like grasping at straws and just a bit desperate.
Somebody actually did a whole TikTok video on that. You should do TikTok, Lindsay. No, somebody actually did do a whole video on that being like, this is why she hasn't actually managed to connect because she's still stuck in the 90s thinking, all this audience and all this like stuff that used to work back in the day is going to work now. But it's a whole new world. Yeah. We don't trust shit anymore. We don't care for celebrities anymore flaunting their bits and bobs. Like we don't. Like people are, you know what I mean? Oh, and then she tried to do this trend. This is in 2021 she tried to do this. This is I think when the internet started turning on her apparently. Oh. In 2021 she tried to do this ice challenge. You know that if you had my love song? No.
Oh.
No. If you want to keep me iced, you won't. If you want to spend your cash, I won't. You know, think you want to keep me iced, you don't. Think you want to spend your cash, I don't.
But what's the trend? What you sing?
So she was like throwing off her jewelry into the sand and throwing it and being like, you know, get rid of your eye. Like this is like, you don't have to buy my love, get rid of all your jewelry or whatever, like throwing things like, so hashtag try this trend now or something.
Right. So she was throwing her gems in the sand.
Jewelry and stuff. And then people were like, it's fucking COVID. Everybody's lost their jobs. Here you are throwing jewelry into sand and like being like starting to try and trend.
Stupid. People need to calm the fuck down. That's stupid.
Either way, that's when they started turning on her. I didn't actually see the trend. God. I just read about this. But apparently this is when they started turning on her.
Just wasted my brain space.
She's so rich and everybody's so poor. So I think we just there it is, the downfall of Hollywood.
I don't know what that was, but that was
if you're still
waste
here,
of 13 minutes of my life.
But I've been watching this very deeply and following for a long time, and I'm starting to feel sorry for her. Honestly,
we can tell.
Honestly,
you just said about 3,000 words.
Pretty good like that. When I record these, edit these videos, I'm gonna have to slow myself down.
Totally. Turn the volume down.
Lindsay can understand. I don't know if you can, but apologies. J-Lulu. I'm sorry, babe.
Look, I'm gonna watch both of those.
Go watch it. I actually almost wish that you had watched them before I said anything, just so I can see. Because when you're on like the TikTok trend and everybody's hating, it's easy to be on it. You know what I mean? But like actually seeing it from the outside, I didn't find that visual album so like horrible. Like it is literally J-Lo on display doing what J-Lo does. Yeah. It really wasn't anything too offensive. The music was relatively good. I didn't mind it.
I wonder if Amazon's like, oh damn, I wish we had.
I really don't think so, no.
But it's interesting that she still put it on that platform. Like did she have to?
I don't know if maybe it was somebody else. I'm not sure who initially gave her the money. I have no idea.
No, but it's like on Amazon, right? Yeah. So
well, they probably, do you know how many people watch that just so they can make fun of her and make TikTok videos about it?
Probably. Okay.
Like, anyway.
I have to go, Billy.
I'm sorry.
I have to try
I don't know.
Goodbye.
No.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us for this latest episode of Wine Chats podcast with Bildo and Lindalin. You can find us on our socials on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and you can listen to us on any favorite podcasting app or watch on YouTube.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, review, comment, send us some love. We absolutely love it.
Chat soon. Come on, Lenny. Chat soon.
Chat soon.
Chat soon.
No,
Chat
putting this in.
Come on.
Okay, we'll add in chat soon at the end. Both of us?
Yeah, go
okay.
on.
Chat soon.